Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. You've probably heard the latest buzz around the league, and believe me, it's not just chatter. It's a seismic shift that could reshape the AFC North, and more importantly, the Cleveland Browns. The NFL landscape is always changing. We see it year after year. But what's happening right now with the Browns' coaching situation is nothing short of extraordinary. It's a story that's been unfolding in real time, and it's one that every Browns fan needs to pay close attention to. Because right now, it's not just about wins and losses. It's about the future of this franchise, the direction it's headed, and whether the man behind the sidelines is still the right guy to lead this team. Let's rewind a little and set the scene for those who might not be fully caught up. Kevin Stefanski, a coach who once brought so much hope to Cleveland, entered the 2025 season under a cloud of uncertainty. After all, just a couple of seasons ago, he was celebrated for taking this team to the playoffs and earning the Coach of the Year award. That was a different time, a different team. But everything changed last year in 2024 when the Browns hit rock bottom with a disastrous 3-14 record, the worst in the AFC. And let's be honest, it wasn't just bad luck or injuries. Yes, the Achilles tear to Deshaun Watson, their star quarterback, was a blow, but there were deeper issues at play on both sides of the ball. When you look at the offensive struggles last season, it's clear that the problems went far beyond injuries. The offense, which Stefanski oversees and calls plays for, was simply abysmal. Cleveland finished dead last in scoring, averaging just about 15 points per game. That's nearly impossible to win consistently in today's NFL. They also ranked last in third down conversions, only converting about 29.5% of their third downs, making it almost impossible to sustain drives. Turnovers. The Browns tied for the most in the league with 34 giveaways, and they punted more than almost anyone else, which just shows how often they couldn't move the ball or finish drives. Red zone efficiency, among the worst, and time of possession. They struggled there too, often failing to maintain control of the game and execute in critical moments. And what about their offensive identity? That was a mess all season long. The offense lacked rhythm, lacked a clear game plan, and regardless of who was under center, whether it was Watson or backups, the results were underwhelming. Watson, despite his experience and talent, looked completely out of sync when healthy, and he failed to lead the Browns to even a single 20-point game in his 7 starts. That's telling. Backup quarterbacks. They didn't fare much better, and by the end of the season, Cleveland had cycled through 4 different starters. It's a revolving door that highlights just how unstable the position was. The play calling drew heavy criticism from fans and analysts alike, with many questioning the offensive philosophy and the lack of imagination. And as if the offense wasn't enough trouble, the defense, once a top-tier unit under Jim Schwartz, also regressed significantly. Injuries played a part, but it wasn't just that. The defense struggled in key moments. Poor tackling, blown coverages, and fatigue from being on the field too often. Over the course of the season, the team seemed to lose its edge, its confidence, and its cohesion. It was a domino effect that culminated in one of the most disappointing campaigns in recent Browns history. Despite all that, the Browns front office made some moves during the offseason, trying to fix what was broken. They fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and offensive line coach Andy Dickerson, hoping fresh ideas might turn things around. But Stefanski, he stayed. And that decision was probably based on his prior success, the hope that 2024 was just a blip caused by injuries, and that he could get things back on track. But here's the thing, patience in Cleveland isn't exactly a virtue, especially when the results keep slipping. Owner Jimmy Haslam, known for his impatience and high standards, isn't someone who tolerates prolonged losing streaks. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The schedule for 2025 isn't doing Stefanski any favors. It's one of the toughest starts we've seen in recent years, a brutal 5-game stretch that could define his fate early on. In Week 2, they're heading to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, a team that's always tough for Cleveland and often in the playoff hunt. Then, Week 3 brings the Green Bay Packers, with Jordan Love showing flashes of brilliance and continuing to develop as one of the league's promising young quarterbacks. Week 4 takes the Browns on the road again, this time to face the Detroit Lions, a team that was in the NFC Championship last season and boasts one of the most potent offenses in football. And to cap it off, in Week 5, they'll be in London, facing the Minnesota Vikings, adding that extra travel fatigue and pressure to an already difficult start. It's a scenario that's ripe for potential disaster. If Cleveland begins 1-4 or even 0-5, with such a challenging schedule and tough opponents, the pressure to make a coaching change will be immense. The fan base, already frustrated with years of false starts, dysfunction, and unmet expectations, won't have much patience for another slow start. The ownership, led by Jimmy Haslam, is known for not hesitating to make tough decisions if they think it's necessary to reset the franchise's direction. And that's what makes this story so compelling. Because it's not just about one coach losing his job, it's about a franchise at a crossroads, trying to find stability and success after so many years of ups and downs. Stefanski's prior success gave him some breathing room, but the last season wiped much of that goodwill away. Now, with an unforgiving schedule beginning right out of the gate, he's coaching for his future. The question looming large is whether the Browns will give him more time if they stumble early, or if they'll pull the trigger and make an early change to try and salvage what they can of the season. Let's not forget that the Browns are a team with a rich history, a passionate fan base, and plenty of talent, if only they could put it all together. The hope is always there, but consistency has been elusive for too long. This season, the stakes are higher than ever. If the team falters early, the coaching carousel might spin faster than we expected, and Kevin Stefanski could find himself out of a job before the leaves even change color. In the end, this isn't just about one coach or one season. It's about the future of the Cleveland Browns and whether they can finally establish a winning culture that lasts. Fans are watching, waiting for that breakthrough, and the coming weeks will tell us a lot about where this team is headed. Will they rise to the challenge, or will the pressure be too much? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, Browns fans, you're in for a roller coaster ride this season. Buckle up, stay loud, and keep believing because the story is far from over. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So as we look ahead, the big question on everyone's mind is, what's next for Kevin Stefanski? Will he survive the early storm, or is the front office already preparing to make a change? The truth is, with the schedule and the mounting pressure, it's hard to see how he can weather an initial poor start. The Browns are a team with high expectations, and anything less than a strong start could spell the end of the line for Stefanski. But this isn't just about one coach, it's about the entire franchise's effort to finally find stability and success. Cleveland's history is filled with moments of brilliance and heartbreak, and this season could very well be a pivotal chapter in that ongoing story. Remember, the Browns have a passionate fan base that demands excellence. They want to see their team compete at the highest level, make deep playoff runs, and ultimately contend for a Super Bowl. That's the dream, right? But dreams require patience, consistency, and a bit of luck. And right now, all those elements are being put to the test. If things go south early, don't be surprised if we're talking about a coaching change sooner rather than later. The NFL is a league of results, and Cleveland's front office isn't shy about making tough decisions when they see fit. And let's not forget, this isn't just about the current roster or the coaching staff. It's about the long-term vision of the franchise. Deshaun Watson's contract, for example, hangs over everything, adding another layer of complexity to the decision-making process. The team invested heavily in Watson, expecting him to be the franchise quarterback that would elevate Cleveland to new heights. If the team struggles early, questions about the long-term sustainability of that investment will only intensify. The pressure to deliver results is immense, and the front office might see a coaching change as a way to shake things up and re-energize the squad. The fans are hungry for a turnaround, and the city of Cleveland knows what it means to be a football town. The passion runs deep, and every game is a battle for pride. So, as we watch this season unfold, keep your eyes on those first few weeks, because they might just tell us everything we need to know about the future of Kevin Stefanski and this Cleveland Browns team. Will they bounce back from last year's nightmare, or will the early schedule expose deeper issues that can't be fixed without a major shakeup? The answer will come soon enough, and I promise, it will be a story worth following. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Do you think Stefanski has what it takes to turn things around, or do you believe the time for a change has already come? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable in recent memory, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Thanks for being with us, and as always, keep the faith, Browns fans. The best is yet to come.